Good morning, fellow option traders. This is Jeff, and welcome to the daily scan for Tuesday, April 14th, 2015. All right, the report that's always kind of my favorite is the Treasury Budget. I always like to see where it comes in and how the deficit's doing and how much it's adding to the debt. So our deficit for March was $52.9 billion. They estimated, or their consensus was that it would be 43, so it's even out of the range. 52.9 billion, and it's the pink line here. I call it pink. So this bar reflects the deficit for March, which was up a little bit from last year. Nowhere near February's number, but apparently February is typically pretty big, I guess you might say, but nowhere near tracking where 14, 13, and 12 are on here, because those are some big bars, as you can see here. So I don't know, I guess it's not really as bad. So for today, we have a PPI, retail sales, and business inventories at 10 o'clock. So that should be it for the announcements. Let's see what's going on across the ponds in Asia. Looking kind of bearish. Oops, sorry. I call that kind of mixed to flat. Not much movement there. And in Europe, definitely bearish in Europe. And I kind of scanned this stuff before, but not seeing anything that just kind of jumped out at me. Okay, so let's run on over and see what's going on with our futures here. I was looking at a chart on ES, so looks like we might open slightly down. Yesterday we looked like we were going to open up, and we did, and then spent the rest of the day working our way into negative territory. Gold is at 1188, down pretty much overnight, actually almost 1%. That's kind of a big move. Oil is at 52.30. I wish it would move down a little bit more. The dollar's at 99.79, and against the euro, it's $1.561. Jumped into Priceline yesterday with a 50 delta trade. We'll take a look at that one. It's not doing so hot right now, but we got some time yet. Still early in the game. Here we have Apple. Pretty much acted like the market. Let's take a look at ES here, as long as we had it up here. I want to just take a peek at that. There we go. Things are a little slow this morning. Drew a trend line in here on the S&P futures. One of the most, if not the most heavily traded futures product out there. This is a downward sloping trend line. I have it right at the highs for the weeks here. There is a down arrow on here. And this is the way yesterday worked out on the ES, which will look different than the way that the SPX looks, because that product, ES, is traded for many, many hours. So on the SPX, we opened pretty much at the close of the previous day, moved up in the morning, and then spent the rest of the day pulling back. I'll discuss these two trades down here in a minute. They're two simulated trades, I should say. All right, so back to Apple. Sorry for the confusion. If you're confused, think about me. Wow, I'm really confused. So we have a support line here on Apple, and earnings are coming up, which means increasing IV. So with that in mind, we are out of Apple, not even thinking about it. If I can see an earnings announcement over here, I'm not doing anything because increasing IV damages our trades and makes us have to wait longer for them to be profitable if price isn't moving in our direction very quickly. So we'll just stay away from them. Moving right along, let's take a look at Amazon. See, we have earnings coming up there too. Not doing anything with them. So, and this is in 2 weeks, so yeah, I got time this week to do a trade, but IV is going to be increasing no matter which way this price moves, especially if it moves down, though. Then it'll be accelerating quicker. BIDU, I don't see any earnings on this one, so we have a setup on BIDU. And that would be for a bull put. So on the weekly, we have moving average is swung up. We do see earnings out here, though, 429. So we have 3 weeks before earnings on BIDU. So this is the last week that I'm going to do anything on BIDU or even think about it. So we're looking at a possible setup here for a bull put. I'll probably do 50 deltas on these. All right, earnings on Chipotle. So I'm not doing anything with that. Costco. Don't see any earnings scheduled here on Costco. So we are in an uptrend, but on a downtrend on a weekly. So we're not. There's no like confirmation on this. We're not strong enough. I'm going to go back to the original rules. If I got conflict here on these 2 time frames, just going to stay away from it because the gods are against us on this. If we were to say, oh, well, let's go by the weekly and let's do a bear or bull put, but look at the daily, it's heading down. All right, so let's do a bear call. Well, but the weekly's heading up, so what do we get going here? MACD. Actually, we have a conflict here. Stochastic heading up. MACD actually bent down a tad. Down and down. I mean, it's just too much working against you to go by this particular current trend. So we'll just be patient. We want to increase our odds a little bit here. All right, we have, there is a support area here on the weekly that I have drawn in. And we were talking about this a little bit yesterday. It was not able to hold its own above this downward sloping trend line. So it failed, and it could be a sign of things to come. Could be. Gold, this looks like some bird shot here on a target at 150 yards. That's what it looks like to me. Anyway, peek at Google. Moving on. Google, we might have a new trend coming on Google, but we have earnings. So we had a big, long period of a downtrend here, and then recently an uptrend, at least for the first part of this year, and now it's tipping over. PPS down, trend moving down, trend is down here, but we got earnings staying away. Staying away. I can't really think of an earnings play that makes any sense except to just make a bet and, just make a bet, I guess. I know that calendars, well, anyway, enough about calendars and earnings. I tried that once. All right, where's earnings here? 4:30. So we have actually another week that we could look at LinkedIn. So we're going to wait to see if it'll come down here and give us an entry. But this may not happen at all. I have a feeling it's not going to happen. So we'll just hang in there on that one. NDX, Not real excited about trading NDX anymore. I will go and look at it though from a chart perspective just to see how the NASDAQ is doing. NASDAQ on the weekly is in an uptrend, and we just went into a new uptrend on a daily. I'll go ahead and leave an entry here. We don't have to worry about earnings on that. Can we do a 50 delta on that? Well, of course we can do a 50 delta on that. So let's just hang in there and see if it comes down here. Maybe we'll do a simulated trade on it. See what happens. Netflix. Earnings are tomorrow. Thursday? Tomorrow. After the market. So there are high expectations on Netflix. Wouldn't you say? Boom, boom, boom. All of a sudden it's up there. Somebody's expecting great things from Netflix. Let's see here. Yes. That's interesting. Let's draw a trend line on here, and we'll just put it right at these highs. I can't see if we're zero. I think we're pretty close to zero. Let's see what happens with that. Priceline. Opened a 50 delta on Priceline yesterday. I would go and look at the quotes this morning, but I know with Priceline they're not going to make any sense at all. So my short is up here at 1205. We're to take a look at the monitor tab, but we can see that we're in the money. It's 1205, 1200. I was not getting alerts on my phone on my trades anymore. I think they stopped the end of March, so I had to change it from SMS to email, an SMS type email, a texting email, and that appears to be working in my initial test. So if you guys were getting text alerts, and the way that this was set up here is here, go to application settings and notifications, and I had to have it set up this way to send an email to Verizon texting. I used to have it sent up for a text to this number. They said to try this. I said, okay, I guess that's all right. So I deleted this one and re-entered it, and I never got a verification code on it. So I guess this part is not working anymore. But they won't say that. They'll say, sorry for your problems. Try this. So that's the workaround for that in case you guys are not getting any alerts anymore. And yes, you can see my cell phone number. Please don't call me. If I don't recognize the number, I usually don't answer it. Especially if it's from a strange area code. And I guess you can leave a message. Anyway, so here we are with Priceline. If we were to look at a intraday chart, I think I got an intraday chart here. Chipotle. Let's go to Priceline. I got into this about 10 o'clock yesterday. So here is 950. Yeah, so I actually set my order up here, a limit order. It's looking for a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio. And what time did that trigger? I don't even know now. Let's see here. Stand by. There we go. I got it up here. So I went 2 days back, and I want to look at Priceline. And here it is. 11:11 is when it actually triggered. And it's a $5 spread. So I made collected $2.50 on it. So that's the way I pretty much set this one up here at 11:11. Is the way that I have it here, just to show you the proof. We had confirmation, 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 confirmation. So let's see if it works out. We got till the end of the week. I'm not going to worry about it. I risked $250 to make $250. let's just go for it and see what happens. Alright, and we have next up is RUT, I think. I did click on that, didn't I? Yes, I did. I'm having a little bit of a performance problem with the application again this morning, so please bear with me. Here's the Russell. Oh my goodness, we have definitely some resistance up here too. I would call that a pretty solid looking ceiling, wouldn't you? Is that going to hold? We don't know. We already kind of peaked at SPX. I have a couple of simulated trades in here. So what I'm doing is going out approximately a month on these to get in at a 20 delta rather than a 30 delta, and I want to see if these are working out. So if we went over to the Analyze tab, here's the two trades down here. This is that extremely long-term bearish trade that I have up here, but these two are bull puts. This one's way out in December of next year. And collected $670, but had quite a, like $1,900 in risk or something like that because of this $25 spread. So the first one that I put up here has a May 2 expiration, and that's this one right here, which yesterday was up a little bit, but with the pullback, it's now flat. And then there's this one here that I just did yesterday at 2045. This one has a short at 2055. This one has a short at 2045. So it looks like this on the chart. I have in this color. White is usually my actual stuff, and then simulated I make some other color. So that's the way that that's looking right now on those two. So I want to see what happens there. Last but not least is Tesla. There we go, and there's Tesla. I don't see any earnings in the near future. This was 211. So 3 months are probably going to be in May. Alright, so we're in a new uptrend on the weekly. A little bit shaky because we've done that before, but we'll see what happens. So I'm looking for a bull put here. We're green over here and upward trending overall. So we're looking for an opportunity to enter here on Tesla. So there's not a whole heck of a lot going on today. So we'll see what happens. That's it. Nothing on the list except for BIDU. So thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. And most importantly, happy trading.